Chance of Devontae?
I would say not, because he didn't practice. And even if they cleared him now, I'd be concerned about him playing without any practice time. Whether he'll be dressed and available for emergency or something, I guess it'd be up to the doctors.
And Antonio, any flare-ups? He was saying that thing can flare up at any time.
Well, it could. Anytime you get a neck like that, it's sort of like those little stingers. He had a limited amount of practice time. That shouldn't be a big factor for him. But had a good practice today. I think he knows what we're doing. But he seems to be feeling fine right now.
What's your feelings on Bryson after having seen him throughout a whole week now with the first team?
Well, he's not Devontae, and I don't think he's nearly as assured himself and is in tune with all of our schemes and checks and those kind of things. But if there is a nice thing about having a player out all week, it's the other guy getting all the reps. So certainly that's got to help him.
Can't change much with your defense, obviously. You just have to have him go out there and try to play the spot.
Well, the biggest problem that happens with all the defensive backs we've had out, we've had to just eliminate some of our third down cover packages. And you just got to play some with more linebackers on the field, and that's going to cut out some of the man coverages.
Ellis, how's DJ feeling?
He's doing fine. What they're not sure, he may have been playing with this thing for weeks and weeks. Stress fractures in your foot, pretty common. Basketball players, probably more football players. And he has felt pain in it for several weeks. And then all of a sudden the other night it felt even worse. So they took a precautionary measure to put him in a boot this week and not put any stress on it so that it wouldn't get any worse. He played on it the other night all the way through, but he just noticed it was hurting a little worse.
But he should be able to go full go.
He'll be able to go, and unless something happens with that foot, along the way, he's ready to go. We just had to be very precautionary with the number of reps he would take this week in practice.
Given the speed of their running backs, do you have to change what you normally do in terms of covering them out of the backfield?
No, you just got to do a better job. Speed will test your speed, and speed will test your technique and fundamentals.
Yeah.
So you can play poor technique and get a little out of position on an average guy and recover. And these guys, there's no recovery time. So it's just going to be, we're going to have to be very good in technique, and it's going to be huge that we alert, pick them up quickly out of the backfield, because they separate from you so fast if you don't.
Who does that primarily fall to? Your linebackers most of the time?
It could be anybody. Anytime a back releases out of the backfield, it's a good chance the linebackers got it covered. But some of the things we do, there'll be safeties in the area, and then we got to play a little zone and not have anybody. But the thing about these guys, they can catch it, underneath the zone or somewhere in the zone, and they're hard to hem up.
Yeah.
We've seen them now for 2 or 3 years. Those guys can fly.
Brantley's back from the ankle, but it's still, I guess he was wearing a little air cast on it this week. Easier, you think, going to get pressure on a guy who's not move around as easily?
No question. Immobile quarterback certainly makes it easier, but he looks like he makes real quick decisions, and he gets the ball out, and they, of course, put him back in the gun, not only on third down and pass situations, but they're running their I formation plays out of the pistol. So it eliminates him having to drive out of the snap from center and do some of the other things you have to do and execute even some of the running game, and it also shortens his drops. So, right now he's played very well with, I think, what's limited mobility. But obviously a mobile quarterback is a much more tougher problem to get to.
Coach, there's been speculation that Ole Miss is maybe looking at you as a head coaching candidate. If you had any contact with them?
I told somebody, texted me the other night, I told them their reading material was pretty bad. They need to just start watching sitcoms. They'd get a lot better information out of it.
Yeah, it's defensive line.
I'm not going to tell you where they read it.
Has not produced as like they have early in the season lately. Has there been a difference in scheme, or teams are doing things differently too?
Well, just that one ball game. And what Arkansas had is an excellent pocket quarterback. And I thought their offensive line just did an excellent job. They'd had some problems, with some really good pass rushers. And I thought our guys were just average. And I said going in, if we affect him with 4 people, we're going to hang around there a long time. But we didn't. And then in addition to that, the field position, the turnovers, and all the other things start piling up. You're not going to keep Arkansas off the board.
When you work with those guys this week to try to get more pressure, and you talked after the game, they were doing too much bull rushing. What ideally would you want them to do to be able to get back there?
I don't know if it was too much bull rushing. It was just, they tried everything. We did some bull rushes. We did some inside moves with twists, tried to get on the edge. There were times we moved him around. He obviously had to leave the pocket several times, but Wilson did a great job on the run, finding the open receiver. And a lot of the escape of the quarterbacks are coming up inside with tackles that got to get off blocks and be able to hem him up. the ends can get upfield on about anybody, but they're not hitting the quarterback. They're forcing him back up inside. And I think the tackle's got to do a better job getting some push and separation and then coming off on it. But I know that at least 3 throws, he had moved around a little bit and hit critical throws. 2 of them moved the sticks and 1 of them was a deep ball.
Appreciate it.
Good.